What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, it seems like undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, Terence Bud Crawford. Well, he just got some real hefty competition as the former pound-for-pound king, retired, undefeated, 50-0, Hall of Famer, former 5-division world champion, iconic superstar boxer, Floyd Money Mayweather, will be making his return June 5th, the same date Terence Crawford is scheduled to make his return. That also marks the date that undefeated, unified, lightweight, world champion, superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez is set to make his ring return against IBF mandatory challenger George Kambosos Jr. on Triller. With that said, we know legendary promoter, top-ranked CEO and promoter, Bob Arum, he stated that Terence Crawford was going to have a huge pay-per-view event and a huge announcement that was 3 weeks ago, and the fight was going to be scheduled for June 5th. Well, now we have some real interesting news as Terence Crawford has some serious competition, as Floyd Mayweather just announced that he will be making his ring return June 5th against YouTube sensation, social media sensation, Logan Paul on Showtime pay-per-view. Thus, essentially taking a date from Terence Crawford. Because if you have two pay-per-view events on the same day, and one includes Floyd Mayweather, and the other includes Terence Crawford, well, we know what side the boxing world, the entertainment world, is going to side with. That being one Floyd Mayweather Jr. With that said, this also is going to hurt the ratings for Teofimo Lopez. This is not a coincidence that Floyd Mayweather is doing this on this date, because there was wild speculations and reports and talks and rumors and whispers that 8-division legendary iconic Filipino superstar boxer Manny Pacquiao could possibly be coming back and fighting Terence Crawford June 5th. And we know the rivalry between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, well, it runs thick, to say the least. So, and Floyd Mayweather, he loves to capture the limelight. He loves to be the center of attention. So, Floyd Mayweather, he recently stated that there is no boxer in the sport of boxing currently that's bigger than Logan and Jake Paul. We just saw Jake Paul, he took on former mixed martial arts world champion, superstar Ben Askren, in which he knocked him out in the first round, and it reported to do 1.3 to 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. That backing up Floyd Mayweather's comments, as Floyd Mayweather said there's no bigger star. Floyd Mayweather stated, all of these boxers today, they're not happy that I'm giving Logan Paul the opportunity of a lifetime. And they want the opportunity. He stated, there's no fight in the sport of boxing. There's no boxer whose brand is big enough for me to come back and fight that's going to be worth my while to going into a serious training camp for 2 to 3 months at 43 years old to fight in a ranking system that's going to garner me to make $100 million. He stated, not Tyson Fury, not Anthony Joshua. They're big fish in small ponds. They're big, they're huge only in the UK. So Floyd Mayweather, he stated that, show me a boxer today that I could compete with that's going to garner me making $100 million. And he stated there is none. So me having fun and facing off against Logan Paul and earning upwards of $100 million, well, it just makes all the business sense in the world. But to come back and compete on this date, that has been speculated for quite some time that it's going to be Terence Crawford's date, and now Floyd Mayweather is coming back and he's landing on a date, is going to water down Teofimo Lopez fight, with George Kambosos Jr. on Triller, because people are not going to pay now for Triller. They're going to pay to see Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. And you best believe it's not going to just be Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul on a Showtime pay-per-view card. No, Floyd Mayweather is going to stack the card. There's going to be some important fights on the undercard. Remember, he loves to he put Gervonta Tank Davis on his undercard when he fought Conor McGregor as his co-main event. So Floyd Mayweather and Showtime, well, you can expect to see some major names on the card. Don't be surprised to see Adrian the Problem Broner, 4-division world champion, superstar boxer, on that card as a co-main event, possibly against Jake Paul. Now, there's going to be some catch weights as Floyd Mayweather. He has a catch weight of 160. He can't weigh more than 160. And Logan Paul, he can't weigh more than 190. So Logan Paul has to come down in weight because Logan Paul said he was well over 210 pounds. So he's got some serious weight to lose. And Floyd Mayweather, well, Floyd Mayweather stays in shape. He's probably 160 pounds currently right now. I can't see Floyd Mayweather coming in at 160 pounds. So with that said, this is huge news because this is a pay-per-view event. And like I said, Triller, you got to pay for Triller. So this is going to, hinder the numbers and the buys for Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos Jr. Now, Teofimo Lopez, he's already, settled as far as his pay goes because he's scheduled to make $3.2 million as he was scheduled to make. Actually, the $6 million was put up. $2 million went to George Kambosos Jr. $4 million went to Teofimo Lopez, but he has to pay Bob Arum and ESPN $800,000. So, and Top Rank. So that leaves him with 3.2. And his father, Teofimo Lopez Sr., father, trainer, and manager, he stated they did a huge deal with Twitter that's going to see them garner $3.8 million, which will see him earn that night a total of $7 million. So with that said, Teofimo Lopez is essentially set, and so is George Kambosos Jr. They're going to make their money regardless of what the numbers do. The problem is Terence Crawford, and what is his plans moving forward. As his trainer and manager, Brian McIntyre, Bomac, he stated that that's the date that they're coming back. So now, Bob Arum, he stated it was going to be a huge pay-per-view event. Well, it's impossible for it to be a huge pay-per-view event if you're going to have already 2 pay-per-views and the biggest star in boxing history, not named Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather or Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather is right up there, if not the biggest. He holds all the records for pay-per-views. So you have Floyd Mayweather going to fight on that date with Logan Paul, and the attention and the surrounding and the following of Logan Paul is massive. So Logan Paul himself has a huger following than Terence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez, and George Kambosos combined. Not to mention you combine his numbers with Floyd Mayweather and whomever else they put on the card, possibly Adrian Broner, as I stated, as a co-main event. Well then, guess what? Terence Crawford, who doesn't even have an opponent. There was talks that Terence Crawford, like I said, could face Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao, he announced that he's leaning more towards 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. And so that leaves 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter, who's his WBO mandatory #1 challenger. So what is going to be the next move for Terence Crawford? Because Bomac, he stated that that's the target date. And you can clearly see that Terence Crawford, well, he's in camp. He's bulking up. He's in camp. He's already sparring. He just recently sparred superstar boxer, former WBO featherweight world champion in Shakur Stevenson. So Terence Crawford is back in camp. He's bulking up. I did a video on that. You can see him clearly getting bigger. It's his plans to move up to 154. He said he wanted to be a champion at 154. Well, he would have to go through the winner of July 17th undisputed junior middleweight showdown between 2-time junior middleweight world champion and unified world champion superstar boxer Jamel Lyons Only Charlo and Brian Castano, who's the WBO current junior middleweight world champion. They're going to face off July 17th. So if he was to face the winner of that fight, well, guess what? That's not going to at least take place until October. So what is the next move, and what's the plan for Terence Crawford? As Bob Arum, he stated that he was going to announce a mega pay-per-view event for Terence Crawford 3 weeks ago, and he stated he was going to announce it that week. And we've still yet to get an announcement or any movement regarding Terence Crawford and his future. This is interesting, but now Bomac, who stated that they was set in stone to fight June 5th, well, it seems like that date is going to have to be moved, because if they dare to go head-to-head with Floyd Mayweather, they're going to fall flat. They're going to fail badly, because you have two major fights. You got Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos, and you have Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. And like I said, don't be surprised to see ADRIEN Broner as the co-main event on that card, because he's been campaigning for Showtime to put him on the card and get him ready, because he wanted to fight. And he said he wanted to fight by June. Don't be surprised to see ADRIEN Broner and Floyd Mayweather on the same card. That would be massive. It's a Showtime pay-per-view card. Expect Terence Crawford to announce that he's moving his date, as Floyd Mayweather had just took that date from him. So let's see how this plays out. Let's see who they announce for Terence Crawford and what's next. But drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.